Welcome guys to another episode of Hypixel Skyblock. So as you can see from this video, I am updating the Superfarm once again. You do not need to build this farm right here if you've already built the previous one that I showed in this video, but it is actually better because melon and pumpkin are outdated on the old farm, so I'm going to be updating them. And also I'm just going to be trying to make it a little bit smoother of a video because there were some weird cuts in the old one. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you to follow through the video and build all the old farms. And also, if you've already built the old farms, I'll be showing you how you can update both melon and pumpkin. If you're only watching this video to see the updated part about melon and pumpkin and you would like to update it, then skip to this time on the screen. And then you can see how to update both melon and pumpkin. And for those who have not seen the old video and have not actually built this farm yet, I will be showing how to build all the farms and try and keep it as smooth as possible. The first things first, if you haven't done this already, you're going to have to empty out a single plot and then copy it as empty. So right here, I have preset empty. I'm just going to click empty because it's not actually empty. I built stuff in it and then copied that. So now empty plot, and now over there, melon and pumpkin will start emptying out so that we can build a new one. In order for this farm to work, you're going to need 2 rows of 5 plots. So I'm going to be using this row and this row. Now I've already started laying out the base down here in plot 19. It's easiest to do one of the edge plots for building the first farm. So wheat, carrot, netherwort, and potato are right here. We leave one gap right between the next plot over and the farm we're building currently. And this is for water. Then 5 rows of dirt, 1 more for water, 5 rows of dirt, another one, dirt, and then 5 rows of netherwort at the end. Now I found the easiest way to do this is throw an infinity dirt wand in and then put that row just like so. And then you can put a second row of each crop right above it, just like so. And then move the infinity dirt wand, and then you can do soul sand. And then just copy this until all of these are 5 rows high. Once they are 5 rows high, it should look just like this. And then that on the end. And basically what you need to do is shift click out these rows of dirt in between. And then it will look just like this. Now after you've built all of these, we're going to move on to cactus, which is down here. Now the easiest thing to do is just do dirt first. So 1 row of dirt, wait 2, and then another row of dirt. Now we're going to do this until we have 22 gaps all the way across. After that, it should look something just like this, and then you can fill in the gaps with some sand. And then it will look just like this with 22 rows of sand all the way across. After we have cactus all laid out just like that, now we put 2 dirt just like so, a row of dirt across like that, and then we can come over here down to the edge of the farm here and start right there. You can remove the extra dirt, it doesn't really matter, and then just fill the dirt all the way across there. And by filling the dirt, I do just mean like actually just fill it all the way in like that. Then it will look just like that. Then you can delete this row of dirt here, and then just these 2 little dirts that are spare. And then it will look like that, which is the layer for sugarcane and cocoa bean. After you've built this platform of dirt, the next thing is just going to be building the water spots and the platform for sugarcane. Basically, we just want 1 on the edge of the netherwort, and then water. We don't want the water pouring into the netherwort, so that's why we put that there. And then just 9 rows of these 2, leaving 1 gap between each one. And then the end, we want 1 more, just like so. And now what we need to do is put the infinity dirt wand to use and just fill in 1 dirt from each one of these. And that's just the in-between, mostly just to put this water here like so. We can just put this row so that we won't fall into the water when we're farming it. So then once you finish that, it will look just like this, with the dirt stopping you from when you're going to be farming sugarcane so that you can go all the way across and not fall into the water. And once you've finished all of that, it will look like this. Most of them are basically ready. They just haven't quite been added all the stuff in yet. Now right here, we actually have to add 1 more row of dirt. And then you can use the bazaar, grab some jungle wood. What we're going to do now is just build up rows of 2 dirt just like so. I built 1 there. Just leave a 2 gap in between each one. And now you can just do this all the way across until you get to the end of the farm. You can then just remove the edge dirt. You're not actually going to need all of these for it to be infinite, but there's no reason not to have them. It saves space, and you will never have to turn around if you do it like this. And then just add 3 rows of jungle wood onto each one of these. Once you're all done with that, we have the base for all of the farms, starting with wheat, carrot, potato, netherwort, sugarcane, cactus, and cocoa beans. And now is a good time you can pull out a prisma pump and just fill this in for sugarcane. Now, it is okay if it pours out the edge of the plot. It really doesn't matter at all, because you're just going to be pasting this right onto the next one. The next thing you're going to want to do is pull out your infinity dirt wand, and right here at the edge of this plot, what we need to do is put 1 dirt there, a row of dirt just like so, and this is just so that we can pour a water row just like so across there. And then this is going to cause the water most likely to disable on the island, but basically just delete this row of dirt. Yeah, temporarily disabled. It really doesn't matter that it didn't go all the way down, because it will re-enable at some point and fill up eventually. So now I'm just going to grab my basket of seeds, pour all of the cocoa beans into it, and then you can just go like so on the edge of all the wood. Just do it on both sides of the wood, all the way up till the last row. We're only going to need on this side. And then just fill it in all the way across. Then once that's all done, we have cocoa beans planted, and now we can do cactus. Basically just go on every other row here, just like so. Next up is the sugar cane, which just goes on each row across like so. Once you're all done with that, you should have cocoa bean, sugar cane, and cactus all growing. And now for wheat, carrot, potato, and netherwort. Now for these, what we're going to do first is build up the trapdoors so we can actually walk across the block. And in order to do this, what we have to do is add a row of dirt across each one of these like so. Now this is just temporary. After we place the trapdoors, we're going to delete them. Then just call the builder or go to the builder. It doesn't really matter either one. And then just grab some iron trapdoors out of the shop. And you are going to need a lot, so just fill your inventory. Now, unfortunately, they still haven't let you put iron trapdoors in the builder's ruler, so you do have to place them by hand. But basically, just place them all the way across to the edge of the plot, and then you're also going to have to place them all 5 rows high. So a couple people have been confused at this part. You place this dirt so that you can place it on this top little portion of that block. And that way you can have water on this trapdoor, and you can do that on each one just like so. After you finish that, it should look something like this, with 4 rows of trapdoors going all the way across. Then you can just delete these rows of dirt. They no longer matter. And then just repeat this in between these 2 plots like so. You can also add the row of water that belongs right here and on each of the rows of trapdoors. And then just copy the rows of trapdoors and then add water in between the netherwort and potato. After the row of trapdoors is done, just place the water. Next thing is pull out a hoe of greatest tilling and just till all of the dirt, because you're going to need to plant stuff in all of them. Then the next thing is just plant wheat, carrot, and potato, and netherwort with a basket of seeds. I don't think I need to show you how to do it. Just fill it up, plant. Just make sure that you do plant in rows straight down. Don't plant across, because that would turn into a problem. And once that's done, all of the farms should have crops in them and not quite ready to farm, because we are going to have to change it after we paste it all the way across. After you finish this farm, go to the desk. Make sure you know which plot you were using. I was using plot 19. And then you need to click Save Preset. Now, I already have too many presets, so I'm just going to get rid of some. I'm just going to name it Superfarm 4, I guess, because this is the 4th variation. Thank you, admins. And then it doesn't really matter what it looks like. I'm just going to use bedrock. Fill up your sack with basically all the crops that you're going to be using. Now, once you've filled up your sacks with all of the crops, now you can go to the next plot, which is going to be plot 7, and then I'm just going to paste Superfarm 4. And now it should plant out of your sack, so then it will look like this, and it won't mind the water, and it will just connect perfectly like so. Unless you did it wrong, then I feel bad for you, sorry. Now when it gets to the end and you see that it did work, then you can paste it just all the way across the row of 5 plots, like all of these. But if it didn't work, try and fix whatever was broken and then paste it all the way across. And now after you've pasted it all the way across, it is time to make the farms actually like farmable. So say we started here with wheat, we would farm all the way across, perfect, but then we need to drop down on the other side. I'll fix that side later, but we need to make it so it drops on this side on our way back. So basically the easiest way to do that is place one sign right there like so. Place a sea lantern right here after we mine this block right here. And now we can just test it real quick. So if we were farming wheat, we would go all the way across here and drop down. Also add one sea lantern here as well, just because once we do drop down, we don't want to walk off the edge, and then we can go down to the other side. And then we just need to copy what we did there. So we mine one right here, place a sign, place a sea lantern, and another sea lantern. I'm also going to place one sea lantern right here at the top, so that you can do /set spawn, and if you're going the wrong way, then nothing will go wrong when you make it to the end. And it will look just like that on the end, and now we can come over here, copy the exact same thing right here. So a sign right here. Find this block, sea lantern, a sign right here. Find this block, sea lantern, and that is it for this end. Oh yeah, and one at the top. And that's it for this end. Now we can go to the other side and fix up the other side. So this one's slightly different because we're coming at it from the other end. But basically, it's not much different. It's just like different layer of the exact same thing. So sign, then a sea lantern. So then that will drop you down. Now the thing is, sometimes people have it like jump you like that. So on this top one, instead of using a sea lantern, you can just use a cobblestone wall. And just to make it work well, you actually have to make it all cobblestone walls. So now if it does jump you, well, it won't jump you, but if it did, nothing would happen because you can't get over the cobblestone wall the way you could a sea lantern. So that's the main difference on this end. So as you can see, it jumped, but I didn't make it. And then you can go across. Now this down here is the exact same. You're coming down on this end, break this trapdoor, sign, and then sea lantern, and then this one, just to end it off. You can let it drop you into the void, but I like typing /warp garden better because you lose less time. Also, you can just set a keybind with SkyTel so that you can just click like G or something, and then it will teleport you back to the top. And then just copy that same thing over here for Netherwart and Carrot. Now all 4 of these farms work as intended, and you can farm them. And now moving on to sugarcane. Now because we don't want anything to go wrong, just place 2 sea lanterns at the end of the farm. And do this on both sides of the farm. And the next thing is buying some lily pads, which we are going to use right here. So we're going to start on that end of this farm. So if we made it all the way down to this end, we'll use a lily pad so we can walk across to the next farm. And then just place a lily pad on every other. Now we can go to the other side, add the sea lanterns and the lily pads, and then sugarcane will be done. And then now sugarcane works. And now we move on to cocoa beans. I'm going to place an iron door right here on this farm. Now what this does is we make it all the way across, right like so. You can add another one, but I don't see the point. Then just mine through the wall. Then there's one right here on the edge of this first block. So if we made it all the way across, it'll put us right in this row. And then if we made it back, it will stop us right here because of this one. And this doesn't get in the way because it's on that block. And then just copy this same thing, just like so, all the way across. And that is it for that end of cocoa beans. Now we go to the other side. And this side is actually way easier because basically you just place 2 blocks. That's all you have to do. Like, there's nothing special down here. And that's it for cocoa bean. Now that one works. And now cactus, which a couple people had trouble with last time. So if we had farmed cactus all the way down, we don't really need to put anything down there. But when we come back, here's where it gets different. We make it all the way down, so an iron trapdoor right on that edge block, right like so. And this will keep you in line for the next row, which we need to use our cactus knife to just get rid of those 2. We need it right on the edge of this block. And then to see that again, basically just mine these 2 cactus, place an iron trapdoor just like that, right on the dirt. And then right over here, mine those 2, and then right on the sand. So now if you did farm it at a perfect 90-degree angle, you will not get hit by the cactus when you go across. Then just copy this down the row. For the end of the farm, just add a second door so it stops you. And then that should look like something like this on this end. And now we can move on to the other end. Now we've finished coming down this end, so we basically start on that dirt right there. Mine out of these. Just mine out the 2 all the way across because they're going to be in the way. And then it's basically the exact same, just starting at a different spot. And also, it doesn't matter what you do in the end, you only need the 1 trapdoor like so. And that is it for this farm. All of these farms will now work, and now we are going to move on to melon, pumpkin, and mushroom. Now this is the very edge of the plot. This is an extra plot right here that's not part of this. So 1 row of soul sand at the edge of the plot, 1 2-block gap, and then another row of soul sand. Then a 1 2 3-block gap, and then another row of soul sand. It's a very odd pattern. And then a 2-block gap, another row of soul sand, another 2-block gap, and then a 3-block gap. So this first row is a 2-block gap, then a 3-block gap. And then from here to the end of the farm, it's 2 2-block gaps, and then a 3-block gap. So again, it's 1 more 2-block gap, 1 more 2-block gap, and then a 3. And then a 2, and then a 2, and then a 3, all the way across. So we need exactly 20 rows of soul sand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Perfect. All right, so the next thing is just add 2 TNT like so, and then place 2 rows of dirt, and then you can just break them. So that's just the easiest place block, so you can place it and then break it. And then this is the row for the first row of pumpkins. Now I'm just going to add this row of dirt into the next block over. If you already have a plot blocking the water, then that's perfectly fine. But I just don't want it to like spill off into the next plot over because that's kind of annoying. So real quick, I'm just going to add 2 rows of dirt above each row of 2. And then I'm going to break all of the TNT. And now for the rows of 3, what we're going to do is 2 TNT like so, 2 rows of dirt, and then just add this row of dirt up to there. And then for this final row, you actually do have to go on the edge of the soul sand. And now we can start working on the second layer. So the easiest way to do that is place 2 TNT right above and over slided 1 to the previous row. So that will go like so. And basically when you farm, you're going to farm in a way like you're facing up like this. And then you can just add 2 more TNT. And then that row is all 3 of the pumpkin/melons. And you would farm straight like this, so you can actually break all 3. And then just copy this all the way across. And then once you finish, it should look just like this all the way across. After you've made it to this point, you can add a prism pump right across here for the water. And just put that on every soul sand. Then the next step is going to be adding a single TNT and just putting a row of dirt like so right under this group of 2. And that is only going to happen in the rows of 3. So you put it on this one, and right here on this one, and on this one, and just do that all the way across, only on the rows of 3. And also on the last one, because it counts as a row of 3. Up next, we have to place wooden trapdoors on every single row of 3. Now they're wooden because you're going to actually have to like mess with them. Like we have to place them right like so above the water, and we do have to collapse each one. So set Rancher Boots to 115 speed and then place all the trapdoors all the way across. Once you get to the end, you can just fly and then collapse each one. The next step is going to be placing trapdoors like so along this path of dirt. And it's basically the exact same idea as this. You go across 115 speed. So basically just put a prism pump right on there, and the water should not move like it does right now. And now you can copy this on all of them across. And again, it's only on the rows of 3. Now the last one is slightly different. We take out an infinity dirt wand, and we build 2 out from underneath, then 1 up, and then put it back in, and a row of dirt. Then you can break all of the holding dirt, and the reason this one's different is because we're going to be putting a mushroom farm here, and we don't exactly want to build out even further. Basically, this just holds the water in place without going too far out, because we don't want to go further out to interfere with the mushroom farm. And then once all that's done, we can move up to the next row, which again, this is only done on the 3. And this goes right here like so. So then for this top row, basically after we place that row, we have to build an extra row of dirt out. So this is what it would look like without the row. You add it out right there. And then you can place trapdoors like so across. And then collapse them down and then remove the row of dirt. Just remove the row of dirt with a builder's ruler, and then it will look like that, and you can add the prism pump water across just like so, and it should all hold in place. Then just copy this across all the rows of 3, and then that will be it for the water. And again, on the last one, you're going to need to grab your infinity dirt wand, build up 2, and then put it back in and put a row of dirt, because again, we don't want to go out further than we need to. And then just use the prism pump, and that will do it for the water. And then it should look like this when you are all complete. For the next part of the farm, we're going to need our hoe of greatest tilling again. And we're just going to till 10 rows. So there's 1, 2, 3. Just make sure that they're all on the right side is where you're tilling. And now this will be my melon farm. Now real quick, I'm just going to buy a bunch of melons. Make them all into seeds, and then plant the melons. And now I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I am going to be planting pumpkins and not melons. And just like that, now all of the pumpkins and melons should be planted. So now for our mushroom farm, we can start work on that. So at the edge of the plot, place one row of soul sand with the builder's ruler. Then wait 5 rows, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the 6th row, you place another row of soul sand. So after placing the soul sand, place a row of dirt. And then another row of dirt, 5 long on each one. Then pull out all of the soul sand in the infinity dirt one. Just leave some podzol in here. And we will move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the podzol. Now, real quick, we can add another row of dirt. And then remove the other rows of dirt because they're useless. And now up here, we can add a row of soul sand, not dirt, just like so. And then throw in the dirt again, right there, and then back to podzol. Then remove all of the extra dirt. Then last time, add a row of dirt. Then the soul sand. Then more dirt. And then more podzol, and that will do it. And that does it for the mushroom farm. So now we can just plant 6 mushrooms. That's all we're going to need. And then it's going to grow all the way by itself. Now we can copy this plot in the desk. And then we'll just paste it as Superfarm 4-2 because it's part 2 of the 4. And then just make it a bedrock and paste it right next to each other, but first fill the sacks with the seeds needed. Unfortunately, you can't fill your sack with melon seeds or pumpkin seeds, so what you do is clear your inventory and fill as much as you can, and then paste one plot at a time. And now everything is finished pasting, and it should look like this. Most of them are already growing, which is pretty awesome. And next up, we have to actually make it so you can farm the farm, because right now, you can't even go from one row to another. If we were starting here, we would farm all the way across down there, and then come back on this row right here. So I'm just going to be using sea lanterns again. So we would come back on this row right here, push that right there, sea lantern, so it will stop us from going too far. Mine this out. Just going to place a sign, and that will stop the water from going too far. And then I'm just going to place 2 blocks there so we can walk across, mine right through here. Again, another sign right there. And right there. Then on the other side, again, another sea lantern, and it will look just like that. And then farm all the way across, which is perfect. Now I'm sort of stuck in my farm, but that's fine. Then we would be coming back on this row, so another sea lantern. Then we mine through right here. Place 2 on the ground. 2 signs so that the water doesn't flow there. And then 1 where we're going to be walking, and a sea lantern. Actually, we don't need 1 where we're going to walk. And to make it to the next row, down that way, comes back on this end. And it's basically the same thing, just copy it all the way down. And it's the exact same for pumpkins, so just copy it all the way down. At the end of the farm, instead of moving into the next farm, just end it off so you can type /warp garden to get back. So here we start pumpkin, so I'm just going to start it in. So you don't have to put anything at the start. Just goes down, comes back, and it's the exact same as melon. Just break it, and then go through. 2 sea lanterns, 2 signs. It is the exact same, and then you can just copy it all the way across. Okay, so here we are on the other side. It's basically the same. So we were coming from that end all the way over here. Sea lantern. Then mine through here. The exact same, it's just on the opposite side. 2 signs, another lantern, right there. Now, right down here is where I'm going to start my mushroom farm. I'm going to start right here and then farm this way first. So basically what that means is I go down there, move over, come back here. So what I need here is a sea lantern, a drop, and then another sea lantern here. Goes around, comes over here, a drop right here, and then a sea lantern and another one. And then one right here to end the farm. And that's it for this side. I'm just going to add one more just so that I know where I'm starting. Now I'm going to go down to the other side and fix that one up too. So on this side of the farm, we just finished going all the way across. Sea lantern blocks us here. Now mine out this podzol right here. Put sea lanterns where the soul sand goes right there. And now we can walk to the other side. Another sea lantern right there. Then we go all the way across there. Drops us down. We go up here. So that means sea lantern right here. Mine out this podzol. Then sea lanterns here. Then that wall stops us. Sea lantern there. Then across there. Drops us down. And then last one right here. And then that's it. All of the farms should be working now. And if you made it this far, congratulations. You should now have a working farm. If you're confused about any part in this video, you can definitely just visit me and then just see exactly what it looks like. My island is always open. And I did borrow Melon King DE's mushroom farm because I thought it looked really nice and it was pretty compact. It is slightly different, but it's basically the same. Now this is Sun Tzu 101's farm. I'm going to link him in the description. And I believe he is the first person to make this farm. If I'm not, I'm sorry. I don't really know who is, but I'm pretty sure it's him. And that does it for today's episode. If you did enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a like and please consider subscribing if you are new around here. And I will see you guys next time.